Stewart Villilo. I'm going to be. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Opening Act for All launch party. I'm Stewart Villilo. I'm a teaching artist with Opening Act, and I'm going to be your host for today. We have an exciting day ahead. We have some stars from a hit Netflix show today. They're going to share their experiences, what it's like on the show. It's going to be amazing. So if you are on Facebook Live, please share this to your feed, share with friends, share the link. Let's spread the love. But for now, if you're wondering who these stars are, let's get a quick peek at who they are. Hi. Ooh, I'm so excited. I don't know about y'all. I can't wait anymore. So let's bring the stars on here so we can discuss with them what their experience was like. So let's bring in, we have Caleb. What's up, Caleb?
What's up, guys? How y'all doing?
Yo, I think we have Brittany is here. Sup, Brittany?
Hello.
We have Odley.
Yes, man.
Hey! First of all, we just want to say the Opening Act family is like so proud of y'all. So I just want to give a little clap, a round of applause. Give it up for yourself. We are all so proud. Amazing. I haven't seen the show yet, but I've heard really great things so far. So I think everybody's wondering, right? Everybody's super excited. Everybody wants to know, what was the experience like to be on the show? Caleb, if you can start us, what was it like? Like you are.
I got added to the process a little later, because I'm in later episodes, and it was definitely not I didn't have to be nervous, because I was in the scene with Odley and someone else that I know named Alfonso. I worked with him previously before. I worked with Odley due to Opening Act. And I was also working on a different project outside Opening Act with Odley and Brittany. So it was just fun to just be on a series of people I already knew. So I was very grateful for that. It took away all the nerves, and I don't know what else to say.
All right, you're a natural superstar. You got no nerves. We get it. That's cool. What about Brittany and Odley? What was your experience like? Was there any nerves? Like, oh my God, I'm in a Netflix series right now.
Brittany.
Okay. It was nerve-wracking because for me that was my first on-camera opportunity ever. And I only took one on camera acting class at my university. So a lot of it was very new, and my first day on set I was just kind of like wide-eyed and just like, oh, okay, oh, so many people, oh, so that's what you do, so then what do you do then, and all of that. And it was a learning process. It was nerve-wracking, but what made it a lot easier and allowed me to have fun was the fact that majority of my scenes were with Odley. Odley is a good friend of mine. She used to do my hair in high school, and I'm familiar with some of the other cast members. So that familiarity definitely sort of calmed my nerves. So yeah, it was amazing, truly special.
Great. What about you, Odley? What was it like for you?
First off, I'm still riding the waves and transitioning and just getting a feel of that this is my reality now. But filming, I would say, was everything I could have wished my first big role would be, because I was not only it's not like I was thrown into something that was totally unknown. I was surrounded with people I grew up with. I was surrounded with people that I literally fantasize about my dreams with, and we talked about growing up and all that stuff, and just learning with them. it was really nerve-wracking. I felt like maybe I wasn't ready for it, but I was surrounded by everyone else who kind of didn't know what they were getting themselves into, but we were also like entering that together. So that literally like that was my comfort,
Great,
and
great.
it made the experience so perfect. Yeah.
Great. I'm so glad to hear that it's been such an amazing experience. You're getting to work with a lot of your friends, people that you know already knew from opening act, and also you're getting to work in your city, in New York City, and it's like kind of sort of your truths, right? Like you're still not that moved from when you were high school students in the city. I have a question for you. Was there anything like you learned about yourself that maybe you didn't know through filming this and being like part of a big production like this?
That I can do it.
Okay.
I've noticed I still have to like, I still kind of seek permission from like the director or whoever to fully like let loose and act. And I want to sort of get rid of that so that, you know, from the time I get on set, like I can fully, you know, be there and be ready to play instead of 3 episodes in. All right, I'm like, all right, now I'm ready. Now I'm warmed up. So that's something that I learned about myself, and then something that, you know, next time I'm on set, I hope to sort of, I want to be able to just dive in right away instead of taking 3 episodes to really.
Right.
See, for me, it was different. I had to find that because I wasn't as big of a part. So I remember waiting to hear that feedback from the director, like, okay, what do I need to work on? What do I need to improve? So like in the moment, I was kind of like, all right, since I'm not getting that much notes, keep channeling it with the things that you're already finding, because they did cast you, you know. What is it different that you can do? Like, remember things that Susie and all those other people taught me, like what is different ways you can do to try to change the scene to make it more interesting. So whenever, if I got a note saying, all right, you're doing too much, which I thankfully didn't get, you know, I just kept going with it. So yeah.
Awesome. So Caleb touched on a little point that I want to expand upon. But before we do that, I want to correct Brittany, because I think I looked on Brittany's Instagram stories and you said you guys were like top 5 in like the Netflix, right?
Yeah,
in the top 10, you were number 5. I just want to correct you. I checked this week. You guys are top 3. You're number 3. So it's the number 3 show this past week. So if you haven't, go check it out. Top 3 shows on Netflix right now. Top 3 series on Netflix. So Caleb touched upon some things that he learned or picked up with Susie, who used to be our executive director, right? So the question I want to ask y'all were part of opening act. Some of you did like the summer conservatories, the other programs, that all the opportunities you kind of took advantage of that opening act offer, not just within the class. What I want to ask is, how did your training and your years in opening act help you during the filming process, filming Grand Army? Like, were there some things that you were like, oh, I remember this from opening act, like I'm ready for this?
For me, the one thing was getting out of my comfort zone and not marrying, let's just say, like a situation and a scene. I learned that through improv, doing improv weekly with opening act. Because I remember, like, just like, you know, you're kind of like thrown into there and like, you know, you don't know what you're doing and you're just given stuff and you just do that. But this time I had a script and I basically had the freedom to do what I wanted with that script. Now, oftentimes we think that we have to, you know, be strict with, you know, just saying the lines and making it how we think it is. But really, when you're thrown onto that set, anything can change. And I was learning that while being there. And oftentimes I married scenes and I was like, this is how I see it. So this is how it's going to be happening. So I'm going to train myself to do it this way. But then you're kind of thrown there and, you know, you have room to do, like, you know, add your thing on there and stuff. So through opening act, I learned not to marry certain scenes. So you're flexible to do whatever, because with improv, you just, whatever's thrown at you, you got to work with it. So I learned that through opening act. Yeah.
Awesome. Same question or? Yep.
I was actually able to improv. I was able to improv before before my character really is introduced. I'm sitting on the couch with my mom, my aunt, and Ollie's mom. Although it didn't make the cut on Netflix, um, like Ollie's in the bathroom and we're over here like still sitting on the couch. So we're improving, like them asking me questions like, okay, what who are you? Like basically asking me like who I am as a character. So that was me actually trying to figure out like, okay, who am I? Like who is Ronald? Um, so that actually helped me to make sort of more of a story for my character that wasn't actually in the script, which was fun for me. And I got that through opening act. I wouldn't know how to improv if it wasn't for opening act.
For sure, I can second that. Like I said before, the first 3 episodes, it wasn't until after the first 3 episodes that I really got comfortable, and then I was able to, subconsciously like use the improv skills that I learned at opening act, which is really just being able to like play on the spot and really be in the moment. So I think like in the later episodes, I wasn't so sort of married to doing it one way. Once the director seemed to like it, just keeping with that. So after a while, like I would play different ways to say the line, different just different ways to go about the scene, go about my character, which made me feel a lot freer. So the improv skills definitely come in handy.
Cool. And what about like did opening act teach you anything about like professionally or like how to handle yourself?
Yes, the bulk of anything that has to do with professionalism and just like maintaining and creating relationships in a professional space, I learned like even just how to respond to emails or sending an email to a potential manager, or sending an email to the casting director when I have a question about my union contract I know nothing about. Like that stuff, I learned literally all of that. Not in school, but through opening.
Yeah. Making a bio, actor's resume, job resume, how to do a self-tape, like all of those things.
Opening act taught me how to be calm. I remember I actually was panicking, the low-key panicking the morning of, because they said they were sending a car to pick me up. However, they didn't text me, and I was waiting on that text because they usually text. But I didn't know like they wouldn't text you knowing they just tell you the time they're going to be there. So I texted Brittany. I was like, do you know? I don't know if she remembers, but I was like, do you know if the car is outside or anything? Like, how does that work? And she was like, oh yeah, just go outside and it'll be there. So I just had to calm myself down and know that just to relax, breathe, take a second. And I learned that through opening act. So yeah.
Well, that is awesome. And I'm just curious, what has been other reaction from your families and friends that found out, or maybe you didn't get to tell them because like you forgot, and they're like, "Oh my God!" Like, what was that like?
Well, I can go first. Yeah, my family, it's like, I grew up in a very like tight-knit Haitian community, and for them to actually see representation on a show and like, remember me talking about my passion for acting and like come into my opening act, like end of the semester shows, they literally see like, just they're just so excited, and they see my testimony, and they see how driven I was and all the things that I did kind of like, pay off. And then also be surrounded with people they've met, like my friends that they've met, to see all of us doing like, amazing and representing on Netflix is like, it's mind boggling, but everybody's like, yo, it doesn't even feel like I'm watching people like, yeah, it's the same with me. So I'm super excited. It's like, I'm honestly so grateful.
Likewise, Same thing. I come from a pretty close family. It's funny. My family won't be like, "Oh wow, you're on Netflix," da, 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 to my face or like in person. Like it'll be like a subtle excitement. But then I hear that they're telling every Susie, Tom, Larry, Angela at their job. Everybody at the job knows. Everybody at the doctor's office knows. So they're super excited. And then in terms of just in general, people's response to the show, it's been so heartwarming because people really do see themselves and see, the plights that they experienced as a young person coming into their own, especially in the urban what century being 21st century.
Yeah.
Gen Z folks, they see their experiences like on camera, and that's been a really powerful for them. And I've had people message me and say, like, I'm so grateful for this show because it's provided some sort of healing for me, or it makes me want to heal from my own traumas, and it makes me look within myself. And now I'm questioning this, and it's resonating with a lot of people. So like, I'm just super proud to be a part of it. Super proud.
Awesomeness. And what about you, Caleb? Is Caleb still here? Caleb may have run into some technical difficulties.
No. I think
You are there, Caleb?
my Wi-Fi messed up.
Okay. Okay, cool. So yeah, what's the reaction been in your camp? Family, friends?
Hello. All right, smooth. Oh my bad. It's like lagging, so I'm sorry.
Okay, it's like when you're in. We can.
But my mom was super excited.
Cool. That's nice. So. Okay. All right. We're running into some technical difficulties, but we'll keep chugging along. Caleb will rejoin us, and hopefully his connection is a little bit better. But it's great to hear that the excitement from your family, from your friends, and also that even outside of your circles, people are inspired by the work that you're doing, and seeing a series like this that represents so many, it's like so diverse, the cast, and it's like a little bit of everybody. And it's New York. It feels close to home for all of us that are New Yorkers. So that's great to hear. We do have, when we talked about this event, right, that we're launching it, and we have some former opening act students, there was a lot of excitement from our current opening act students. So they were excited to like be able to join in and maybe ask you all a few questions, pick your brain a little bit. So if you guys are open to that, we'll see if we have any students in our waiting area. Everybody cool?
Yes.
Awesomeness. So we have Lucia. Lucia's an opening act student. She's a sophomore. She's actually my student at Walton High School, and she's amazing. And, yeah, so Lucia, if you want to ask any of these actors, superstars, a question, feel free.
Hi, Lucia.
Hey, girl.
So I was wondering, like, what was the process? Like, how did you guys find out about the auditions when you actually auditioned and got the role? Like, how was that process like?
So, with me, Britt, and Caleb, we worked through Opening Act. We met Katie, who is also the creator of Grand Army, and we basically we were in her theater classes, and we toured around just performing plays. Katie was also our mentor, and she actually told us about the opportunity. Like, at first she told us that she was working on like a project, and it's also so like amazing to have someone that's also in the industry and like kind of network your way there. And I feel like what also, because he was just never saying no to opportunity, and I learned saying yes to opportunity from Opening Act, and it's taken me this far, and that's how I've met people along the way. So we ended up working with Katie for a really long time also, and she told us that she wanted us to audition. But at that point with the process now, I rarely really auditioned. It was only like when Susie would, hook us up with an audition, or like Kathleen, or if anybody would send us anything that was going on. So I didn't know what I was getting myself into. And I just knew what I practiced in master classes with opening act. And I basically, with the sides, what I did was kind of break down that character. And I remember like going through sides with Susie and everyone. I remember talking about what that character did before and what's planned after. Now, when you get sides for audition, you don't know. So I kind of had to create that and give it my all, and also like not doubt myself and have space to audition how I felt the character would have done it. And I kept getting emails about sending more self tapes. I had no idea. I thought you audition once and get like the role. Come to find out, they were asking for more and more self tapes, and I kind of got impatient because I was like, okay, well, what's going on here? Come to find out, when you're auditioning, it's going through a line of people that all have to like you. So if somebody says, I'm not getting that feel from this character, can you ask her to make another self tape? You're gonna have to do it, and that's how they narrow the cast down into, that one person that they choose. So the process was very like, it was painful, but I also didn't want to cling onto it too much. So I wanted to give it what I got and kind of let it go and give it to the universe. And that's exactly what I did. So when I found out on Mother's Day that I got casted for this, I had forgotten about it. I was already like, okay, you know what? Maybe they picked somebody who could do it better than I can, But that was also me learning about auditioning. This is what auditioning is. Like, it's not just one self tape and then you get the role. It's like you got to explore that character that you're currently like, putting together, although they already have it made there for you. You also, they want to see what you can do, kind of thing. So I did it and I'm here. It's crazy.
My question. I forgot I was on. I loved your performance in Grand Army. It was so inspiring. Oh my goodness. That scene that you did for when you were doing your interview.
Sorry, excuse me. 1 second. Can you introduce yourself?
Oh yes.
We want to know who you are. We want to know what school you're from.
I'm so sorry. My name is Mia Richards, and my name is Mia Richards, and
And what campus are you in with opening act?
Yes, for Brooklyn and Cobble Hill High School of American Studies.
Cobble Hill.
Yeah.
Caleb School.
Yeah, they have a nice program. I love it. But as I was saying before, I wanted to know how you did that scene for your interview, and how did you get like the passion? How many takes like had to be done for you to hit it like right?
First off, with that scene, the first time I read it out loud, you would have thought it was my performance. Because this is stuff that I talk about with my friends. This is stuff that I've discussed with family members. So it already like connected to me, So doing that take, I think it took about 1 or 2 takes. It was easy. I have to say the best one was before the cameras were on. And I remember Silas, the the director for that episode, like he was like, "Can you hold that? Can you wait till the cameras come on?" And I was just rehearsing. And yeah, that took about like 1 or 2 takes. That I have to say that was the easiest, because it just like it resonated with me so well. And I was just like, oh, that's easy. I just gotta relax. The only thing I did before that scene and before every take, I had my little notebook that I kind of like, every scene I kind of break down. I think I do my 4 W's that I learned from opening act 2. I do my 4Ws, figure out like where I'm at right now, what's going on, how I'm feeling, what I have planned after, and what's my goal this very moment. And every time before action, I would literally open that book, read it again, and then I'm just like, okay. And then I went on with it. So it was like, that was the easiest scene. And it because it resonated so well. And yeah, that like, I watch it every time and I literally cry,
I
you
know.
know, 'cause it's real. But I feel like it's as long as it's easy to tap into, you can kill it in rehearsal.
That's great, Oddly. That it almost sounds like you kind of stumbled upon this character that has a lot of similarities with you and like
Oh,
your background. So it made it. It seems like it was kind of not as difficult as
yeah.
people may think for that particular scene. But I want to ask you and Brittany, since the story is set in New York, as we mentioned before, it's stuff that you may have already dealt with, like in your high school lives. So some of it may come easy because it's easy to tap. Like, oh, I can recall back in high school or something similar happened to my friend. I want to ask you, so people don't get the idea. Oh, this is so easy. I just come in, I tap in. Were there any difficult scenes in the show, or one particular that you found like it was difficult, and maybe you can give advice as how you got over that to our students?
Britt, you want to go?
I feel like I didn't really have any scenes that I found to be difficult. Especially like since my the people that I was playing with, Oddly included in that, they were so good. If anything, the scene that might have been or could have potentially been difficult was the scene where Oddly you have the breakdown in the beauty supply store. But Oddly killed it, and I was genuinely concerned. So it didn't really feel like, girl, are you good? Yeah, I feel like Oddly you probably have more to say on that than I would. If anything, the difficulty came. I remember there's the mall scene, and I was wearing these like 5-inch stiletto boots, thigh highs, and it was difficult because my feet were on fire. My legs were trembling because I was standing in those for like 4 hours straight, just trying to get all the takes and whatnot and the different angles. So it was that was a physical difficulty for me. But Oddly can probably speak more to that than I can.
Yeah, I had a few difficulties. The first one for me was basketball. Now, Dominique Pierre plays basketball. She's good at it. I don't. The only sports I played was badminton in high school. And filming this, I was already 5 years graduated from high school. So literally, like, there were scenes that had to be shortened because it was a lot for me to get away with. I learned how to dribble before filming, like in Canada from Crystal. So it's like, that was hard. And I was really hard on myself that I couldn't, jump and hit a ball and make it look perfect on camera. And that alone, I had to learn I can't beat myself up because they have to get a take. People can't sit here forever while you stop in what you think you can't do. So that was hard for me, but I had to literally learn. Like right there, right before a take, like what does that mean? Okay. And go with it and make it look like I can play ball. But I beat myself up a lot. Like Brittany had to come out and tell me, like, girl, you got to come back in there. You got to do what you got to do. Make it look like you play basketball, So I had to get away with that. Also, I was learning a lot of different techniques through a lot of the actors that I met on set. So my guy lead, she plays Dominique's mom. And I learned that it's important that you tap out of your character and you learn what's different between you and that character you're playing. Because eventually you can be so wrapped up in it to where you think, oh, it's me. But really, you got to differentiate that. So I had, there were a few blocks that had a lot of emotional scenes. I went home with that. And I was like, why do I feel so sad? But that's because I'm literally carrying Dom's storyline home with me. So she taught me how to disconnect when I'm done. So I learned once I get in my trailer, I had like a little roll-on cologne that I love to smell, and that kind of reminded me of home. So when I did that, I would change, wash my face, put that cologne on, put my favorite sweater on, and that was like, okay, now Odley's here kind of thing. So I'm not like, I would go home and feel like I have homework to do. And it was summer when I was filming this. But that was just Dom. I was just taking on Dom's anxiety home with me because I was so tapped in that I didn't really check out when I had to. So that I learned through the process of filming.
It's amazing the whole process and learning. And we have
Yeah.
Esther. Hi, Esther.
Hi, Esther.
Esther, is your mic on? We couldn't hear you. If you have access to the chat, you can type your question in the chat as well. All right, let's see if Esther comes back in. So Esther, if you're still with us, you can also type your question in the chat and we can read it if you're having technical difficulties with your mic. So we have a student saying, taking what you were just talking about. So learn to tap in and tap out.
Yes.
The passion, Evelyn Dale, but you kept going, which is good. Last scene of episode 9 was powerful as well. So you're inspiring all these current opening act students.
Wow.
This is great. So so a lot of Esther.
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah, Esther, yes.
Okay, so my name is Esther, and I went on Clara Barton High School. I'm a senior. So my question is for Odley.
Yes.
So from 1 to 10, how proud you are for representing Asian community?
How far I am for representing Haitian.
How proud?
Yeah.
I'm beyond proud. I have to say, before this show came out, I had so much anxiety about, I hope I did it well enough. And like, I hope I did my thing, and I hope the audience can take the Haitian community in the best way that they could and the way that they should be received. So yeah, it's a huge responsibility. And like, it's also who I am and how I grew up. So I am beyond proud, beyond. And I'm just like, I also don't want to have a super big head because there's just also so much I want to do. So like, I pat myself in the back for now, but I'm also like trying to create more room to do what has to be done for my community. But for now, I'm proud because everybody is receiving it. Before that, I was proud, but I wasn't sure. So now I'm confident in it because of you guys. So yeah, I'm like, it's insane. It's about time.
Okay. I'm so proud of you too.
Thank you so much. Thank
and I
you.
also heard that you went in Clara Barton High School, right?
Yep.
Which is more proud.
Yes, it's like, it's a true full circle moment. And it's like, there's posters all around Clara Barton now. It's crazy. It's so like, it shows you that anything is possible if you keep fighting, you know? So yeah, thank you so much, Esther. Thank you.
You're welcome. So do I have to leave or stay? I don't know.
That's a good question for our production manager who's working backstage, but she'll let you know. But you can stay, you can hang out with us in the meantime. As we move on, here is Kathleen.
Hi, Esther. Thank you so much for your question, and Lucia and May for joining us. We're so excited to have students joining and talking with us today. So yeah, and now we're going to talk about Opening Act for All, which is so exciting. So I know in the chat, a lot of people are like, how do I get involved? So this is where we're going to talk about that really quickly. So I'm gonna pop off, and Esther, I'm going to have you come off, and Stuart's going to talk about this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Esther.
details as to what Opening Act for All is.
Yes, a lot of people are wondering. And wow, let me just read some of these comments that have come in. I have never seen the Haitian community represented in a positive light on TV. This was
we out here.
Yeah, Justin Daniel, our assistant director of programs. It's actually thanks to Clara Barton High School that Opening Act. This is a trivia question. So if you're ever on Jeopardy, remember this. It's thanks to Clara Barton that Opening Act got its start 20 years ago.
Yep.
That's
Ain't that something? That's crazy.
20 years ago. Cool. So a lot of people are wondering. Some students have been asking, how do I get involved? You know, especially if I'm not in New York City, or Opening Act may not be in my campus. So, and y'all may be wondering, what is Opening Act for All? Because this didn't exist while you were Opening Act students. So Opening Act for All, it's a free, all access online art education that's where you can learn acting, improv, dancing, puppetry, spoken word. And it's our teaching artists who have particular skills that they may not be able to expand too much within the regular classroom, because we do have to teach y'all certain things, right? So this is an opportunity for them to kind of delve deeper into those skills and put it virtually, and anybody can access it from anywhere, whether you're in New York, you're in Florida, you're in California, you can access these lessons free. They're gonna be on our YouTube channel, so make sure after this that you subscribe, follow our Instagram, Opening Act for All, spelled out, Opening Act for All on our Instagram, or go to our general Instagram, Opening Act New York, and there you can find all the Opening Act for All information. So this is our launch party. We're gonna be putting videos up every Wednesday. A video goes up. Every Friday we have Freestyle Fridays. What does Freestyle Friday mean? It's kind of like this. We have live events. We may bring alums back. We talk about things. Our next event for next week's Freestyle Friday, it's gonna be young voters. We're gonna talk about voting, the importance of it, you know, how it affects you. So that's gonna be cool. We're gonna have students talk. So that's gonna be super fun. So make sure you tune in to that. So yeah, this is what Opening Act for All is. It's like cool videos with, you know, professional artists teaching a particular skill. So for example, if you're coming up on a role and you're like, damn, how do I audition? You can access the Opening Act for All library. There's gonna be a video for you on that. That's gonna give you tips. Yeah. So knowing kind of a little bit, I know you're probably not gonna remember everything because we're just giving you the information now. Y'all didn't have Opening Act for All when you were in high school.
Nope.
Right. So how do you feel a program like this could be helpful? Let's say if you can rewind back, put yourself back in high school, and now you have access to all of these sort of almost like mini courses that you can just do online.
Yeah.
Like, how do you think that would have been helpful for you?
I think that's going to be super helpful for, you know, everyone who decides to you know, log on and participate, because, you know, Opening Act, the improv classes were great, and I learned to hone my improv skills and, you know, professional skills and whatnot, but there were still a lot of questions that I had about the industry itself that I'm now learning. So to have classes where maybe, I don't know, you guys might talk about how to do a self-tape, how to, you know, create your setup, what is the audition process like for a lead versus, you know, like a recurring character, stuff like that. Like those are questions that I'm still getting answered today. So the fact that this is going to be, this is a resource that's free and it'll be accessible at any time. I could watch it at 1 a.m. I could watch it at 2 p.m. Like, I wish I had that.
I probably would have started writing faster, like script wise, because I started writing a script, I think, my senior year. So I probably would have started writing scripts way faster. I would have been able to learn about budgeting, how to do that, how to schedule things, how to have a team and not necessarily have to do everything by yourself. Because I like when I create things, I try to do everything by myself, which is not very helpful. So I don't know, stuff like that. Knowing also stuff about the industry, how to go about getting an agent, a manager, type of questions to ask when you're in those type of interviews. Knowing your own worth, and what you bring to the table, and knowing that you're the prize when you go to those type of interviews, and that they're not the prize, it's you who they're representing. It's not them. It's not you representing them. It's them representing you. So I would have been able to know all of that before. So
yeah, this is like amazing that most people, I mean, with the advancement of technology now and, everything due to COVID, everyone's home. The arts is already like, being deprived in a lot of public schools as is. So the fact that this is something that could come out of all of this is amazing, because oftentimes with the school criteria right now, a lot of kids are depressed sitting on the computers for hours and getting up for a gym for 10 minutes to do jumping jacks. It's not enough. And like, we're at like, just the youth period we're all creativity. And if we're not exercising that, it literally deprives us. And like, we go through emotional roller coasters when we're not expressing ourselves. So having this resource, having a lot of, aspiring actors and actresses, they can finally have this to look towards if they don't have enough money to pay for classes or don't have enough people to support them and take them to classes. Like, this is like perfect and it's accessible. And I remember being an opening act and like talking about with my other friends that went to other schools, and opening act wasn't in their school. And I'm just like, I don't know what to tell you. It's like, look up classes or something, or free classes online. So now we have something to offer. And this is amazing because a lot of people would have access to the knowledge and the networking that they need in order to make their dreams really come true. So this is amazing.
For sure. I remember even just yesterday, I've had people who have watched the show, just like random people message me and be like, hey, oh my gosh, love the show. I also want to get into acting, but like, my parents aren't supportive, or I don't have the money to take acting classes. How do I sort of, make some way for myself so that I can pursue this? And then when I found out about opening Act for All, I was like, oh my gosh, this is perfect. I can literally just send a link and just be like, this is a good place to start.
Yeah.
So I think the timing is amazing. I mean, I'm sad I didn't have it, but I had open Act in other ways. Yeah, I think I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, we're very excited about the program, and even we all just mentioned, like Caleb mentioned, right? He needed help, like budgeting, managing time. That was something that wasn't even like we were like actually thinking in our radar. But that's what's great about this program, Opening Act for All, is that any suggestions of things that you feel like we need this or we need to learn about this, we take those suggestions and then we implement them. We find a teaching artist who has expertise on that, and then we'll create a video around that. So that's great that you added things that you also were like seeking when you were in Opening Act. So to our students who are watching this, who are current Opening Act students, or maybe you were Opening Act student in the past, feel free to send suggestions to us, because that helps us continue to add to the library, so we can keep the videos going of whatever it is that you feel we need. Right now, we're making it on what we kind of know what students need, right? But there's always little things here and there that we may not be aware of that it's
needs to be added, yeah.
So that is great. So if you're wondering, again, you subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow Opening Act for All on Instagram. You can send suggestions. Feel free to send suggestions, and we're going to drop the videos every Wednesday. Every Wednesday, we'll drop the video. Fridays, we're going to have Freestyle Fridays, where we kind of freestyle, sort of what we did today, and you never know who's going to pop in.
Yeah.
Cool. I think that is it for today. I think, we students got to ask questions. We got to learn about your experience. We got to learn how proud your family, your friends are. We got to learn how the students at your campuses that you came from, how proud they are of you, and how proud the Opening Act community is of you, and how many new students you have inspired to kind of follow in your footsteps. So thank you all so much for taking your time to be with us and join us today for this
Thank you.
Launch. Sorry. Hi, everyone. Kathleen, really quickly, I just we got a question coming in.
Cool question.
If you are in New York City, do you get access to mentors too? And I think if you are in New York City, it's easier to get access. And we also want to make sure that there's access outside of New York City too. So part of the Freestyle Fridays is an opportunity for us to kind of create a community of mentors where there's a lot of peer mentorship and mentorship with professionals in the field. And it's a space where we can come together in real time and support one another in what we're trying to learn and create together. So I hope that answers the question. But I thought it was an important one. I didn't mean to like.
No. We gotta answer all the questions.
So, but that's it. And I'm sorry. I'm like the weird person that keeps busting in.
Kathleen, like.
Yeah. So just join us as the questions are coming in. Just join us. The very first thing you can do is subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Instagram. And we're kicking off today. Oh, and Stewart, we should talk about, because you edited it, the video we have live today. It's on YouTube right now.
Oh, yeah. So we have a video on YouTube right now, which is about warm-ups for actors. Our wonderful teaching artists, Julia and Ugo, made a video, and it's warm-up for actors. So if you're pursuing acting like professionally in the future, this is a good way to know like what professional actors do before they actually start performing. So if you're like in a theater performance, actors, our body is our instrument, so we have to warm it up, stretch it out, kind of like athletes be stretching before they start the game. We performers do the same. So this is warm-ups for acting and improv, and it's live on our YouTube now. So if you subscribe or go to our YouTube channel, check that out. So you can already start learning like the first step, right? Warming up before you start performing. And more videos will be coming. So again, just so many great comments. Lucia, who was with us, she says, nice meeting all of y'all.
No.
Ethan wants to say hi. People are so proud. And Corinne is so inspiring. Amazing. Well, thank you all superstars once again for taking your time to join us and keep doing your thing. Keep inspiring, keep paving the way forward for other people to follow in your same footsteps. Thank you all so much. And if you haven't checked it out, Grand Army, check it out on Netflix.
Yes.
It's top 3
Yes.
on Netflix right now. Okay. So go check it out. All right. Thank you all. Thank you once again for joining Opening Act Launch Party. Let's say bye to our superstars.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
I got